Hello students, welcome to your channel Sabish English Classes. I hope you are good there. So today I have picked up this book Treasure Trove which is from ICSE board for the students of 9th as well as 10th standard. And the story that I am picking up today is the 10th one, All Summer in a Day. This is a very beautiful story and this story is a science fiction. Now it is important for us to understand what is a science fiction. Fiction is actually such a story which is not reality and which is based on imagination and fantasy alone. So, as this story is not a reality, this story will be showing us a life on Venus, on another planet other than the Earth, and therefore we can say that this is not reality and this is something which hasn't yet started happening in our world, and that's why this is not real and this is simply a fiction. But then, what is a science fiction? Whenever a fiction is related to science or advancement of science and advancement of technology, and there is a hope that in future there is anything which is possible just on the ground of the advancement and the development of science and technology. So, such a thing is called science fiction. This particular story is a science fiction because this story is talking about an imagination of the writer has imagined a life on another planet, but then this is something which the writer has imagined through the advancement and development of science and technology, and therefore this story is a science fiction which is not only a science fiction but also going to show us about the world, about the scenario that will be there in future, and which will not be impacting only the adults but also the children. So we see that in future we can expect such a world where there will be an advancement of science and technology to such an extent that we would have started living our life even on other planets other than the earth. Like in today's world it happens that our parents generally send the children or send us to another countries for further education and all. But here in this story, this is the imagination of the writer, that there's a character, important character in the story named Margot, and this girl is sent by her parents to another planet for her studies. So from this we can see that this is something which is revealing or manifesting an advancement of science and technology, and which is a future prospect of our life as well. So the writer has tried to portray here. So we see that this is one aspect of the story. Now another aspect of the story is that in future it is not only the advancement of the science and technology that will be revealed to us, but also our lifestyle, the kind of lifestyle we have adopted and the kind of track we have chosen. We can lead not only ourselves but also to our children to such a world where there will be a lot of negativity, envy, jealousy, hatred, and it will all be impacting the personalities of our children in such a negative way. So this story will be revealing this aspect of the word as well very beautifully, that this girl Margot, who has been sent to Venus for her studies by her parents, just because we have developed so much, we have to imagine through this story that now studies can be pursued even abroad, not only in another country but on another planet. But then when Margot comes here, so she gets to see that there is a limitation. See, life has been sought even in Venus as well by this time, which is being portrayed in this story. But then there is a confinement or a limitation on Venus, and that limitation is that this place is not as green as our earth, and there's always a rainfall. It has been continuously raining for 7 years, and all the time it rains and rains, and it happens that only after 7 years and only for some time the rain ceases, this rain stops, and then sun comes out, and the children remain so excited to enjoy that sun. But then it happens that it comes out only for such a short amount of time that by the time children even realize that the sun has actually come out, and they go out to play, and they come to know and they find that the sun has even gone away. So this is something which is a very very important and beautiful and an interesting aspect of this story which has been portrayed. And when you see, you realize how these small children are not able to enjoy the sun, and due to which they even do not know anything much about the sun. And especially here, it has been shown that there are children who are barely 7 years old, or lesser than that. So we can come to this conclusion that they are the ones who have never witnessed the sun. So they do not have a very good idea about the sun. They have only read about it in their stories and all. So it happens that Margot, who is new there on that planet, she has lived on the earth, and therefore she is very well aware of the sun, and she knows much about it, and she has even witnessed it. So she is more excited and she knows more about the sun. So whenever she is talking about the sun, the other children get jealous of her and they try to inhibit her. They try to, they even mock at her, and this is how they keep on tormenting her. They keep on teasing her. So they were jealous. They had that feeling of hatred just because this girl had witnessed the sun and she had come from another place. She had enjoyed the sun, and they were not able to tolerate the fact, the other children on that Venus, they were not able to tolerate the fact about this girl, and they were very much hateful towards her, and they were very jealous of her. So this is how we get to see that that particular moment, which was so much awaited by everyone, that the sun would come out and they would be getting the opportunity to go out and play at least for some time itself. But then the children, out of jealousy, had pushed this girl Marcotte, and they had kept her in a closet. They had actually shut her in a closet for that amount of time, for that period of time, till the sun had come out, and it remained out there. And it had gone away so soon as well. And by the time it happened that the children came back to their school buildings when the sun had gone away, they realized that the girl Margot had already lost that pleasure of witnessing the sun, which had come out after 7 years. And then they were also regretful, contrite, and they were also realizing their guilty and everything, their fault, and they were feeling guilty. But then by that time it was already too late, as they couldn't make up for that, and they couldn't return the sun, the beauty of the sun, or they couldn't make her witness it once more. So this is how we get to see that the children were so much under the negative emotions that they shut up that girl in a closet so that she couldn't witness the sun, although they knew that she was excitedly waiting as well, along with them, like them. And it has been very beautifully explained in the story, and described in the story, that the children were very excited about it, and they had been told beforehand that another day the sun would come out, and all of them were continuously waiting for it to come out. And they were very excited since morning. The discussion had been going on regarding the object. They were even studying about that in their school buildings, in their classrooms. And as soon as it was about to come out, they all had gathered around the door so that they could go out as soon as it comes, and then they could enjoy it. And as soon as the sun came out, they all were left to leave the classrooms and to go out to play, and they left their classrooms, they went out to play. And hardly had they started playing when they realized that it had again started raining, and they had to come back to their classrooms. By the time they came back, then they realized that they hadn't enjoyed as well as much as they had expected. And also at the same time, they had made such a blunder by shutting up that girl in a closet, who was equally awaiting and who was equally excited to enjoy the sun. So this is how we see that the children were regretful, and it must have impacted their personality. So that feeling of hatred and jealousy had impacted their personality, and after that this regret must have impacted their personality too. So this is how we see that the personality of the children was being affected, was being impacted in a negative manner because of these negative emotions. And this is something which we can predict to have a lot in future, even in our kids. Along with this advancement and technological development in the field of science and technology. So, at present itself, we have to realize and trace that which direction we have started heading towards, and how much we should try to keep track of ourselves, and what all we should try to improve in ourselves. So this is high time for us to realize all these things. This is the message and the most important theme in this particular story. So I hope you understood the summary of this story. Thank you so much for watching.